Due to ShowPro's aggressive copyright takedown policy, this re-upload will be audio only, with the fully edited version available to my patrons, link in the description below. To round off the Hoenn movies, we have Pokemon Ranger and the Temple of the Sea. This was another one that I remember seeing a lot on Cartoon Network, though I don't think I've ever seen it all the way through until now. Did it manage to stand the test of time? Let's take a look. Oh, and before we start, I want to remind everyone that this is the point where I'll be switching over to the subbed version, because the original cast has been scuttled by this point, and so hearing different and inferior English voices will only make me angry. Our story opens on a Pokemon Ranger named Jackie stealing a Manaphy egg from the infamous pirate Captain Phantom. Meanwhile, Ash and friends come across a group of traveling performers known as the Marine Troupe. However, it's soon revealed that the Marine Troupe has been aiding Jackie in his mission to transport Manaphy to the legendary Sea Temple. Can Ash help Jackie escort Manaphy to safety, or will Phantom finally get his way? This is probably the first time where I've left a Pokemon movie feeling hardly anything at all about what I just watched. Normally I'd either feel excited after a good movie or angry after a bad one, but there simply wasn't enough meat to sink my teeth into with this film to see either way this time. It's just a straightforward action flick, plain and simple. On the one hand, this gives it the benefit of trying out some really cool action set pieces. Jackie doing cool action stuff is always entertaining, and it almost feels like a spy thriller at some points. On the other hand, it can also end up completely shattering suspension of disbelief. I get that Ash has done some pretty insane stuff before, but there was always that hint of vulnerability to his actions, that idea that he could slip up and fail. Here, it's like they pulled him right out of Mission Impossible or something, because this dude's just a straight up action star this time. And while that is entertaining in its own way, it's not really what I'm looking for in a Pokemon movie. What I am looking for is, well, Pokemon stuff. And I will admit that the plotline about the relationship between Manaphy and May was pretty alright. It's very much the typical surrogate mother storyline, but it's not executed poorly, so I didn't dislike it. However, I can't help but feel the tiniest bit betrayed by a plotline about a young female Pokemon trainer acting motherly towards a baby Pokemon, all the while being surrounded by water types. You know, it's right on the tip of my tongue, but I can't shake this feeling that May probably wasn't the right choice for this role. Aside from that, there's really nothing else to talk about. Phantom is about as generic as villains come, and the rest of the cast doesn't really stand out in any way. And then... you know, I'm getting really tired of complaining about the CG in these movies. If it had just maintained a stagnant level of mediocrity, then I would probably just shut up about it. But somehow it only manages to get worse and worse as each movie goes on. This is easily the worst looking Pokemon movie so far. Much worse than everything before. This isn't even early 2000s CG. This is like late to mid 90s CG. It's simply fucking atrocious. And the rest of the animation's not that great either. Everything just feels kind of flat and unengaging. And there are hardly any great shots that really leave an impact. I'm pretty sure there are episodes of the TV series that look better than this movie, and that's just shameful. The soundtrack, again, is pretty alright, but doesn't leave a lasting impression. The focus on pitched percussion this time around lends to a more tropical feel, so it does set the mood pretty nicely, though I'm ultimately going to forget about it in a couple hours. In the end, it's not the worst movie by a long shot, but it simply doesn't have nearly enough actual content to make it stand out in any way. The first third of this film that doesn't contain Jackie doing cool shit is unbelievably boring simply because there's nothing to care about. I wouldn't actively tell you to skip over it, but there are still way bigger fish in the sea to waste your time on. Before we jump into the Diamond and Pearl movies, there's one last TV special we have to cover, that being the 10th anniversary special, The Master of Mirage Pokemon. And don't forget to check out my other content while you wait. Special thanks to Jan Rogalski, Rourke Tenjoin, JJJ User, and all my other patrons for their generous support. My name is Ember, and I'll see you next time.